Hello everyone, quick announcement. Sleep and Relax ASMR has partnered with X Tingles to release 2 exclusive NFTs available either by auction or sale on X Tingles platform. X Tingles is the premier marketplace for ASMR digital art and collectibles, which you can collect, sell, and trade. Collecting pieces means you'll be a pioneer in this emerging technology, as well as support this podcast. In practical terms, you'll be able to collect and trade digital art that combines audio and visual into one. So for more information, you can visit xtingles.com. That's xtingles.com. Or you can email me at hello@sleepandrelaxasmr.com if you have any questions or comments. Link in the description.
Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Sleep and Relax ASMR. This episode I will read some inspirational, uplifting quotes from thinkers, athletes, celebrities, philanthropists, and more. It's a nice way to go to bed with a bit of inspiration, happiness, and with a positive attitude towards tomorrow. So, with that in mind, let's read some inspirational quotes. The first quote is from Steve Jobs, and it reads, "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you know when you find it." The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Walt Disney. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. Winston Churchill. Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. Will Rogers. Will Rogers was an American actor, cowboy, columnist, and social commentator who believed in keeping forward momentum. Next quote. You learn more from failure than from success. Don't let it stop you. Failure builds character. Interestingly enough, this quote has not been attributed to anyone, so it just reads as unknown. But just adding to that quote, when you replace lose with learn in your vocabulary, the thought of failure becomes less daunting and lets you focus on growth. And I'm a very big believer of this. I think there are times when, I have the flexibility and the opportunity to maybe explore something, and I have absolutely no idea where to start, no idea where to kind of take the first step or what it should even be. And what I've noticed is if I go into it with this idea of I don't know and I might not get it right first time, then it really is a challenge for me to do it. Meanwhile, if I just sort of change my mindset to think, okay, well, maybe I won't get it right the first time, but I can learn and see what I got wrong, what I got right, what I can do to improve, and it really does make a huge difference. We move on to a quote by Vince Lombardi, which reads, "It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up." People who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do succeed is strong enough. Og Mandino. Entrepreneurs are great at dealing with uncertainty and also very good at minimizing risk. That's the classic entrepreneur. Monish Babrai. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. Maya Angelou. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Wishing is not enough. We must do. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. And as I was compiling this list, this was definitely one of the quotes that also stuck out to me, because I find that it has had a sort of impact on my life in the way that I try to think of, again, projects, whether it be for work or hobbies or, whatever it may be. And I think it's very comfortable to, for example, take an online course and learn about something, but then the next step of actually, trying to apply it and putting yourself out there, it really does change, your outlook. It makes things a little scarier, because we go back to this idea of failure, but if you kind of just tell yourself, knowing is not enough, I have to apply. Well, I'm afraid to apply because I might fail. Well, if you change your vocabulary to go from I might get it wrong to I might learn or I will learn, then, for me, this quote really works in well with the quote regarding growth and learning as opposed to failure and embarrassment. Imagine your life is perfect in every respect. What would it look like? Brian Tracy. To follow up on that quote, the exercise mentioned is what I've heard many consider to be like a very important quote for the, personal development, for someone to, and I've heard it thrown around by a lot of either inspirational thinkers or, thought leaders, is, what does your perfect life look like? And once you kind of start with that clear vision of your ideal life and happiness, that you can work backwards to get there. We generate fears while we sit. We overcome them by action. Dr. Henry Link. We know what we are, but know not what we may be. William Shakespeare. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Theodore Roosevelt. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford. This is another quote that I think of often, especially when, again, I'm being pessimistic or negative about a potential outcome. And I should probably get a sticker of this quote and just put it up on my wall or something so I can look at it every day. But it's true. When I've thought that something can go right, it typically goes a lot better than I initially anticipated. And when I think something can't get done correctly, then it either doesn't get done or gets done poorly. So, definitely one of my preferred or favorite quotes when and success and mindset. Security is mostly a superstition. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Helen Keller. The man who has confidence in himself gains the confidence of others. Hasidic proverb. And there's a little excerpt here, kind of following up on this quote, which reads, "In this powerful Hasidic proverb, we learn an ancient truth that still holds up in modern times. The power of self-confidence is just as strong today as it was a long time ago. You can still change your thoughts. You can still change the thoughts of others by changing your thoughts about yourself." Next quote reads, "The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today." Franklin D. Roosevelt. FDR famously alluded to the impact positive thinking can have on the world, stating that our doubts or our self-limiting beliefs were the only restraints on the possibilities of the future. Creativity is intelligence, having fun. Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein authored this encouraging and uplifting quote. In just 5 words, he captured the essence of his intellectual philosophy and inspired others to embrace the creative process. What you lack in talent can be made up with desire, hustle, and giving 110% all the time. Don Zimmer. Professional baseball player and coach Don Zimmer dedicated 65 years to the sport. The wisdom he left behind implies that willpower and dedication are just as important as ability. Again, alluding to the concept that success is formed in the mind before it manifests into reality. Do what you can with all you have, wherever you are. Theodore Roosevelt. Develop an attitude of gratitude. Say thank you to everyone you meet for everything they do for you. Brian Tracy. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. C.S. Lewis. And just a quick pause, because this is another quote that I try to think of, especially when I feel like maybe I have achieved a goal, which is obviously tremendously gratifying and fulfilling on different levels, depending on the, let's call it the weight or the size of the goal or project associated with achieving that goal. But then I will occasionally go through these lulls of time when I kind of wonder, well, what's the next thing? And then I wonder, have I already achieved the things that will make me the happiest? Or is there something else? And when I kind of take a moment to be patient and be disciplined, I think of this idea of, you never, and it's not that I'm, old by any kind of real measure, unless, I talk to a 5-year-old and they think I'm very old, but it's this idea of just, you're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. And going to change as life goes on. So, again, one of my favorite quotes for sure. To see what is right and not do it is a lack of courage. Confucius. For every reason it's not possible, there are hundreds of people who have faced the same circumstances and succeeded. Jack Canfield. Things work out best for those who make the best of how things work out. John Wooden. I think goals should never be easy. They should force you to work, even if they are uncomfortable at the time. Michael Phelps. One of the lessons that I grew up with was to always stay true to yourself and never let what somebody else says distract you from your goals. Michelle Obama. Today's accomplishments were yesterday's impossibilities. Robert Schiller. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Zig Ziglar. A clear vision, backed by definite plans, gives you a tremendous feeling of confidence and personal power. Brian Tracy. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Aesop. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. Jim Rohn. Our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan in which we must fervently believe and upon which we must vigorously act. There is no other route to success. Pablo Picasso. Great things never come from comfort zones. Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. Vince Lombardi. Never bend your head, always hold it high. Look the world straight in the eye. Helen Keller. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. Zig Ziglar. And we have just a couple of quotes left. We have a few quotes left here, and I left some of my favorite ones for the end. I mean, I have a bunch of quotes I've always enjoyed compiling quotes and kind of looking at feel a certain way, I kind of refer to them, but these are some of my favorite because I like how brief they are and they really hit the point. It is never too late to be what you might have been. George Eliot. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Dr. Seuss. You do not find the happy life, you make it. Camila Kimball. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Albert Einstein. And then the final inspirational, uplifting, positive quote, which is my favorite because I love the metaphor in general. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. Jimmy Dean. And there you have it. Those were the uplifting, inspirational quotes that I present to you for your sleep, relaxation, comfort, motivation, whatever it serves for you. That's all that matters. If I missed some quotes that maybe you thought I should have included, or you have suggestions, comments, whatever it may be, you can always reach me at hello@sleepandrelaxasmr.com. That's all for this episode. Thanks as always for listening.